Here's what you've been missing over at patreon.com/addressing Gettysburg.
You're listening to Addressing Gettysburg.
Oh, hello, everybody. And we have such a treat for you today. Such a treat for me today and probably everybody else who's in the room. A lot of you who are studying to become a guide have probably heard the name Colonel Sheads bandied about by current guides or other people, I don't know. And I happen to be friends with his grandson, Matt. And Matt and I go back to the year 2005, Anno Domini. And he was my insurance salesman at the time, and then we became friends, going out drinking and things like that. So Matt Sheads is our guest today. Matthew, welcome to the show.
Well, welcome to you, Matt. Eric
thank you.
And company.
Yes.
I have to say, I'm very, very much impressed with this high-rise facility that you have here.
Don't be fooled.
Yes.
So I was sitting in the green room, thinking about what I was going to say, hoping that I would meet one of your high-end...
One of the Whack Pack.
No, not the Whack Pack. I mean, you have some high-end people. You have Sam Elliott.
That's right.
Bo Brinkman.
That's right.
Joseph with a Z.
Joseph.
Fuquay, right?
Right. Fuquay. Correct.
I practiced it. I don't want him to call you later and criticize.
Right.
But I met somebody much, much better than that.
Who?
I met the one and only Cam Mallow. He has made my day.
Cam Mallow. Here he is. And Cam, why don't you come up to the microphone since he called attention to you here? You come on up and say hi. Now, what is so exciting about Cam? Why did you want to meet him so much?
So, Matt and Eric, I've been telling you guys that I have really, really, really enjoyed your show.
Yes, thank you.
I just found it within the last month and a half.
On Facebook is where you found it first,
right.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, anybody who's not a Patreon is an idiot.
Oh,
because they need to be, be spending some money for this quality show. You get to hear wonderful interviews with Joseph with a Z, and other stuff. But listening to your show within the last month and a half has brought me a lot of happiness.
Oh,
and I can tell you, my favorite of all guests so far is the one and only Cam.
Wow, more than Joseph.
Well, Joseph's all pro.
He's a pro,
He's all
right?
pro.
But Cam is all real. He's all natural, right, Cam?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, so Cam. So for those of you who don't follow us on Facebook or don't know what we're talking about, we do like once or twice a week. We'll do a live show on Facebook where we talk about what's going on in Gettysburg today. And Cam popped by the studio last week on our first show that week and just floored us all with his stories, with his everything. Right, Cam?
Regaling us with tales of grown men dressed as monkeys and whatnot.
Exactly. Cam, so just real quick, just tell everybody about yourself.
Again, I'm from West Virginia.
By God.
Yep,
Couldn't
by
tell.
God, West Virginia. It's almost all I ever wear whenever I'm not in my work clothes.
It's true. You have your 7th West Virginia cap on again, and you've got a West Virginia T-shirt on.
Yep.
He did shower, though. He seemed to be smelling fresh, though, man.
I think he's got... He always smells fresh. I think he's got like 7 of those shirts, 7 of those hats, and that way he doesn't have to do
for
laundry.
every day of the week.
One for every day of the week. That's what I'm trying to say.
And on
So
the
anyway.
7th day, God created Cam.
On the 7th day, Cam did laundry. So you... So go ahead. You're from West Virginia. What do you do now?
Right now, I am working for the National Park Service in Washington, D.C. on the National Mall.
Okay.
Giving people information about the memorials, helping them around the park. With the ultimate dream goal is to getting up here at Gettysburg as a full-time interpreter.
Okay.
With the Park Service.
Okay. And what have you? So you're working down in D.C. now, but before D.C. you were working up here on the maintenance crew, right?
Yep.
And then the year before that, you were a volunteer.
Volunteer here and at Antietam.
Give me one funny story about volunteering here. Can you? Do you have like one really good story, like an encounter with a tourist?
Just one.
Just one.
I actually don't because it was all serious about.
How about this? Tell us the story about. Remember when you were working out in the field by the Bliss Farm, I think it was, and they dunked you in the garbage can. Oh, come on, tell it. This is when you're on the maintenance crew. Go ahead. This is a good story.
They just.
No, it was a hot day. You got to set it up. It was a hot day. It was like 90 degrees. You're out in the middle of the field, no shade. And what do you have? You have a big garbage can full of water to cool yourselves down, right?
Yeah, and they dunked me in it.
Okay.
Larry.
All right. That's Cam's song. All right. So they dunked you in the water and like they grabbed you by the ankles and flipped you in?
No, they just poured some water on me.
Oh, see, you told it last time that they grabbed you by the ankles and flipped you in. And I was like, that's not good because you could drown that way. How are you going to get out of that?
I got out.
Bet you did. All right, well, Cam, thank you very much, and enjoy the show as we sit here and talk with Matt. Who are we? What? Go ahead.
So Cam, you spoke about Antietam.
Yeah.
If I could share just a quick story, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Cam had shared about a week ago about dressing up in a gorilla outfit or a monkey outfit to scare somebody. Is that correct?
Yeah.
At school.
For fun.
Just a quick story. So he did it for fun. Well, I know there's some controversy going on here in Gettysburg about running on the battlefields. But I can tell you, and I'm not knocking the Park Service by any means.
No.
But there is an event that's held every year called the American Odyssey Relay. There are about 100 teams of 12 that come to Gettysburg every year. And what they do is they run from Gettysburg to Washington, D.C. I was saying to Cam when we were outside in the green room, I'd heard a rumor the one year that there was somebody that was dressed up as a gorilla jumping out in the middle of the night, scaring people on this American Odyssey relay. So fast forward to the first year that I did it, I'm running through Antietam. Now, Antietam grants the American Odyssey Relay the opportunity to run through their battlefields.
Okay.
So, Maddie, I'm running through there, and Eric, I'm thinking about this gorilla that's going to jump out in front of me and try to scare me. And as I go up the little hill and down the little hill there, and in the middle of the night, this daggone deer jumps out in front of me and scares the hell out of me. So anyway, that's a little story about running on the battlefields.
So let me, you told the story before, and I'm wondering, Cam, with your penchant for dressing like a gorilla, could the guy he heard about have been you?
No.
Was that, you sure?
No.
You're not sure?
I don't think it was me.
So you don't know.
It was 12 years ago, Cam. Where were you 12 years ago, April 27th?
I was still at Shepherd, actually, at the time, working on my degree.
Ironically, we go to Shepherd University as one of the stops. We run across the bridge.
The plot thickens.
We run across the bridge. What's the historic hotel that's there? The
Bavarian Inn.
Bavarian Inn. Yeah.
And we turn around and run down the C&O Canal. This story's starting to come together all of a sudden.
No.
Come on, Cam.
Nope. I would have been either in the library working on my BA degree or in my room at the time.
All right.
Because when it comes to history, I take it serious.
I know you do, my friend.
Well, that happens to coincide with my shitting my pants story.
Okay.
All right. Well,
all right, let's get to the matter at hand here. All right, so Matt Sheads, the grandson of the great Colonel Sheads. That's really what this is all about. We're talking about the Colonel, and you've been working on this for weeks.
I have.
And I'm glad, because it was your idea, I believe, right, to do this. You said, hey, I think, would you mind if I would come on and do that? And I was like, yeah, no, of course, this would be great. Because one of the things that we want to do with Addressing Gettysburg is, I still haven't talked to them about this, but I would like to deliver an archives of oral history for people around here in Gettysburg about various events and things like that, and give it to the Historical Society if they ever really would want it. And so Colonel Sheads is a big name amongst Gettysburg people. A lot of people had him as a teacher. A lot of people know him as a guide. He did a lot of things in his life. How old was he when he passed?
Well, I can tell you first when he was born. I'm going to do a little test.
Well, I'd like to start at the end and go back to the beginning.
Well, how old was he?
Yes.
He was 91 years old.
Okay, so what year was he born in?
Okay, the year he was born. Okay, this is your history test. You ready for your history test?
Yeah, as long as there's no math involved.
Well, no, not really. But I can tell you, this is one thing my grandfather always said to people when they asked him how old he was.
Okay,
So I'm bringing you in.
I got you.
I'm not baiting you.
Go ahead.
He would say to you, Cam and Eric, you'd say, I'm as old as the Pennsylvania Monument. You figure it out. So when was the Pennsylvania Monument erected?
When was it erected or when was it dedicated?
Well, when was it finished? When was it finished?
Shit, we should know this.
1910, isn't it?
1910.
Yeah, okay.
Ding, 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 ding.
And so he died 91 years later.
He did. February 17th, 2002. He almost made his 92nd birthday.
Almost made it. When was his birthday?
April 17th.
Okay.
1910.
Another April birthday. Nice.
Yeah, a lot of April birthdays. Yeah.
Best month.
So he's born in 1910. Mm-hmm. And what are his parents' names?
His father's name was David. I'm struggling on his mother's name, but his father's name was David. He was a Gettysburgian all his life.
Was his mom a Rosensteel?
No, that was the other side of the family. We'll get to that. That was he married into the Rosensteel side.
Okay, because that's another name, ladies and gentlemen, around here. That's
we have
prominent.
There's some
great Rosensteel
wonderful stories. Maddie and I have been laughing about that.
Yes.
But so the Sheads family's been here forever. The house that my grandfather was born in 1910 was built by his great grandfather. And Jacob Sheads,
his great grandfather,
and his father David Sheads. They built the house.
Okay.
You ever hear of the Sheads house? This on Carlisle Street.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. The one. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that when that house was built, some of the remnants of the lumber that was left over was used towards the house at 115.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So he's born into that house.
Correct.
Like, not born at the hospital and taken to that house. He's born in that house.
Exactly. He would tell you he would always say, I wasn't born in the Annie Warner Hospital. People who have been in Gettysburg a long time know where the Annie Warner Hospital is now, the Gettysburg Hospital / Wellspan. But he was very proud that he was born in the upstairs bedroom.
Wow.
He had a twin, and we could talk about it a little bit later on.
Really?
He did. Twin died at birth, and well, not birth, 7 days later.
Oh.
But and he actually passed away in the house 91 years later in our dining room.
So that's amazing.
It's not haunted. The house is not haunted.
I wasn't even going to go there, but thank you for clarifying that, so people don't come knocking at your door now. All right, so but that is amazing, and that's uncommon now, but that wasn't really uncommon through most of history anyway. You'd be born in a house, and you probably would die in the house or something. So that's and he just. Was he sick or did he just die? No,
he actually passed of natural causes. I can tell you that he had 8 siblings that were older than he was.
Okay.
And he was always worried, Maddie. Yeah, he was always worried that he was going to go to an elderly home and he was going to die there. He was also worried about going to the hospital, which is not uncommon for people of that era. That you would go to the hospital to die, right?
Yeah.
So he was always stressed about that, and so we did everything we could to keep him in the house as long as we could.
Okay. Okay, so what does he do? He goes to school, of course, like everybody else. And any stories from there, or can I move on to...
No, I think that the important part of that is, I can say, Matt, not like you and I, and I'm going to guess Cam, he's not a slacker, but I can bet you, and Eric, how many days of school do you guys think you missed throughout your high school career?
High school?
Well, just how about from kindergarten?
From kindergarten? Okay, I'm going to say, 3 a year.
3 a year?
Yeah,
okay.
I don't really get sick.
20, okay. Eric, how many do you think you missed? Just ballpark.
Oh, I don't know. Probably
Senior skip day.
Probably 4 or 5. I actually...
Catch the rest of this episode and support the show over at patreon.com/addressinggettysburg.